Are you all ready for things to go downhill now in My Hero Academia Season 3? Because I definitely am, and definitely it's the start of everything that's gonna go downhill. Like, legit downhill. And one of the best fights that'll be coming really soon. I know it's coming real soon. Like, it'll take 3 or 4 more episodes, but it'll definitely coming real soon. And I can't wait for that fight. But anyways, let's talk about this episode of My Hero Academia. This is episode 3, if I'm correct, or episode 2, because the first episode is called episode 00. So this is episode 2. Now, episode 2 of this series, My Hero Academia, was more based on how everybody was developing their quirk, even though the title for this episode is named Kota, and which obviously they focus on Kota too. This episode is more focused on how everybody is developing their quirk, from quirks like Midoriya's quirk, which is more based on strength base, and he's developing his quirk based on strength base with a different teacher, because there are 4 different teachers from the Wild Wild Pussycat team, and I know that name sounds funny, but let's just talk about that. Like, there are 4 different teachers from for each type of quirk development, and Midoriya is pretty much developing his quirk with this manly pussy teacher. Like, I know it's funny because a teacher wearing female clothes is kind of like, okay, why is he a member of the squad? And a lot of students were questioning the same thing, like, why is he a member? But trust me, he is pretty cool in a way, because as a manga reader, I can guarantee you he is a pretty cool teacher. But anyways, it's not like any of all these 4 teachers. They're pretty damn cool when it comes to all of it, and including Pixie Bob, who got destroyed by the villain, or at least what we think about it. But she's soon gonna fight. Don't worry. She's gonna fight soon. But anyways, let's talk about Code after this, because we all know that everybody was developing their quirk with different teachers here and there, and we all know that stuff was as like everybody needed to develop their quirk because of the last episode of what Aizawa said, that their quirk was not developed at all. And then we move on to the next scene where Midoriya pretty much meets up with Kota, because Kota pretty much what he does is he doesn't like human society in general, the superhuman society. His mindset is, because quirks exist, heroes and villains exist. And if quirk does not exist, heroes and villains would have not existed, and his parents would basically not die in the line of duty doing a heroic work. And that's the basic reason why he hates the superhuman society. Like, it is very understandable about why he's hating the superhuman society, because obviously, if if you think about the way a child thinks, like as a teenager, as an adult, we all think that having superpowers is kind of cool. But when you think about it in a child's personality who lost his mother and father at like a very small age, and it's obvious that you will develop hate for the society you are living in. You'll develop hate for that particular person that killed your parents. And we have seen this story used up over and over again. But what My Hero does better is that it explains you that why the superhuman society is also at a time it's a good thing, but also why the superhuman society is also a bad thing at the same time. Because if quirks do not exist, these kind of killings, somebody trying to be heroic, it would not happen. Like in real world, if quirks existed, this would be common. Like, it would be common. Heroes will get sacrificed every day because villains will obviously be in these real world situation. And it's very obvious of what Kota thinks, why he hates heroes, why he hates villains, why he hates quirks in general. It's very obvious. Now, obviously there's more quirk development, and that is why that is what has happened throughout the whole My Hero Academia thing. It's just been like, since the start, the quirks have been passed down from generations to generations. If you saw season 2, at the end of season 2, pretty much All Might explains like the quirk the one for all quirk. It pretty much is something which gives everybody the power. For all for one takes away their power. Pretty much, generation from generations has been passed down, and that's what basically is happening here. Like for one for all, it basically gave everybody these powers, and all for one pretty much takes everybody's powers. That's basically how it goes. Now, talking about this episode later on, let's talk about why Midoriya wanted All Might to be here. Basically because he doesn't know what to say to Kota. Because Kota's hate is very genuine towards the society. It's a very reasonable hate. So Midoriya doesn't know what to say to Kota because obviously that he saw that he heard what Kota had said, and he couldn't reason with the things that Kota said because they were genuine. That was the reality. So he couldn't reason with Kota with all those stuff that Kota said, and that's why he's thinking, what would All Might say in such a situation? What would his thinking be? And Todoroki, as always, being cool as always, he pretty much explains Midoriya. He's like, you shouldn't be nitpicking in strangers' things. Like, I like how Todoroki just explains that. And then he also says at the same time, but nitpicking is your thing. Like, like, I know he didn't say that, quote unquote, what I'm saying, but basically what it meant was that Todoroki said that you shouldn't nitpick, like, you shouldn't go into a stranger's life. At the same time, knowing that you are definitely somebody who can change people and get into strangers' life. It's your thing. So that's pretty much what Todoroki said, because obviously Todoroki was changed because Midoriya in changed Todoroki completely. His ideals. He changed Todoroki's ideals and stuff. That was at the start of season 2. We saw how Todoroki's ideals, a big development for Todoroki happened throughout season 2. And that's what was passed by Todoroki. He said what Midoriya has done in season 2 for him. That's pretty much what Todoroki said. Now, also at the same time, we see that everybody has at the night time, everybody has this little competition so to develop their quirk even more, where pretty much class B is playing the role of scare, meaning they have to scare class A students who are divided into teams. And I know this is funny, but Midoriya was all alone because 5 of the students who failed the exam, pretty much they were taken by Aizawa into extra classes. And it's funny because Midoriya was all alone, and he's like, why do I need to be all alone? It's also funny to see Todoroki and Bakugo get scared as they are teams, and it's funny because it's been a long time. It's been like 50 odd chapters. Like, I think so, not even 50. It's been more than 50. It's been like, what? This chapter was like 60 or 61st chapter, and right now My Hero is at 180. So about 100 chapters. That's a long walk. Like, yo, it's been a long time since I read that's all those stuff happening. But anyways, now League of Villains have also appeared here at the end of this episode. League of Villains pretty much appear out here, and what they basically do is basically they use this poisonous gas which was created by the villain that looks like Stein a little bit. Stein. Villain Killer Stein. Not Stein. I don't know why I said Stein, but who looks like Villain Killer Stein. He uses this strange ability to pretty much create smoke. Or was it him, or was it some other villain that uses this ability? I'm pretty sure it's him. Or was it some other villain using some kind of poisonous gas? I don't remember. But I think so it's him. I forgot. It's been a long time, okay? I'm really sorry. It's been a long time if I'm messing up this end of the episode. Because it's really been a long time since I read this chapter. Like, this chapter, when I read it, it was like the end of the... how long has it been? 1.5 year? 1 year? I don't remember. It's been so long since I read this chapter, so I don't remember that much. But I do know that one of my favorite yanderes, yes, I said yandere, even though I don't like yandere, but I have to say, my favorite yandere showed up in this episode, and that is none other than Toga herself. Yo, I really love that chick. Like, not gonna lie, Toga. She is such an awesome yandere. Like, really, she just showed up at the end of the episode. I was like, ah, it's good to see her again because it's been a long time since I've seen her too. So it's really good to see her again here. But talking about what happens at the end of the episode, pretty much this poisonous gas, pretty much it's used to knock people unconscious, and that's what we see at Class B happening here. Class B is getting knocked unconscious, and with the with them getting knocked unconscious, we also see that Pixie Bob is having a got into a little trouble. Like this one villain just pulled her in his grasp and pretty much bombed her down. That's pretty much what happened. And pretty much Kota is in trouble, and Midoriya realizes this. Midoriya just makes his way quickly towards Kota. So now next episode. Next episode is pretty much, I didn't see the preview, but I could say that the next episode is pretty much gonna be the like the end of the training camp, most probably, I guess, if not the episode after. No, this is not the end of the training camp arc, but it is the end of the training camp, most probably. And I know I am waiting for that one fight because the end of the training camp arc is with the end of one of the greatest fights in My Hero Academia that we'll ever see. Like, that's one of the greatest fights. I'm not saying it's the greatest fights because there is a fight later on that I enjoy more than this, because a lot of people enjoy this fight while I enjoy a fight that takes occurs in the chapters around 140, 150, which I'm pretty sure will not be included in this season, next season, but I enjoy that fight more than this fight, and I would love to see that fight get animated. But anyways, this fight, it's still one of the greatest fights, and it still gives a chill. It still chills me out when I see that fight because it's just so awesome. Like, it's literally a very damn good fight, and it takes place at the end of this arc. And the opening pretty much indicates what fight I'm talking about, but I'm not gonna say anything about it. Anyways, let me know what you think about this episode of My Hero Academia, and I'll see you in the next video. As always, peace.